Is that your worst loss of the year, Leppa?
We had a few early. I hate to talk in extremes. Port Adelaide was pretty bad, but it probably brings us back to the start of the year. That loss, the last sort of since round 10, we've sort of been pretty competitive in all the games, probably excluding Freo. So it's probably up there with the Freo and the Adelaide losses. You know, particularly the last quarter and a half, it was just they really decided to kill us as opposed to ease up on us, which made the scoreboard blow out.
In a way, it was a bit of a reality check. I suppose you've been playing teams in the bottom half of the ladder recently, and you're up against a genuine finals contender.
Yeah, we always knew this last month is going to be tough because we're playing all finals contenders and those that are actually entrenched in the finals. So that's going to be the next leg of our journey to compete well and remain in the game for longer. But yeah, we're bullied today, contested possession. Whilst we've been winning, that number hasn't been great. We lost convincingly today, and around the stoppages we got completely killed. So their efficiency, and again 2 weeks in a row, the efficiency of the opposition inside 50 is a bit too high as well, and ours is too low in the 30s. So we still got over 50 inside 50s though. So that's, you're giving yourself the chances, but not overly efficient and effective.
Is that the big thing to turn a side that's got promise and some good young players into a regularly decent side? Because when you win or break even in contested possession, you're in games, but you just got taught a lesson.
And part of that's technique, part of that's size, experience, and skill. I mean, if you marry up the two midfields today, you could see a big discrepancy. And we're getting beaten a lot in our own front half as well in that area in contested possession. But when your key forwards McStay and you've got John Freeman in his first game and Closey's in his second year, but only 10 games. We're pretty inexperienced down there as well. It leaves a lot of pressure on those guys. We didn't stand up today, and they bullied us around.
Did you feel any sense of resignation out in that last quarter and a half, or was it just Adelaide?
Yeah. Oh, I sense maybe the players did. You'll have to ask them, but it did feel that way a little bit from the outside, didn't it? That that. We were hoping the game, the last 10 minutes had just weaned down itself, but that's not what happens in games of footy. You have to fight them out. We made some really poor skill errors, obviously gave them goals as well, which made the scoreboard blow out again even more.
What's Justin Clark's problem?
No. Clark, he'd been sick all week, he didn't train. We took him in knowing that, and he sort of played like he was a bit, one step behind for most of the game. So we decided to sub him out of the game and move Daniel back. It wasn't heading the right way, but it didn't seem to matter because Walker still sort of finished off the game strong.
Sando said it might have been a bit silly playing games up here at lunchtime during the season. Do you think the heat is an issue, or do you have a view on that?
Oh, we train at it all the time. So I guess it's a shock from people coming from South, though, to come up for a 110 game. It's something that hasn't crossed my mind, to be honest. I won't talk about the conditions anymore. Actually, we like the 4:40 time slot on a Saturday as a club, but that's got nothing to do with the sun or anything, but just as a time slot. But I guess with his players coming to finals and preparation, I thought they handled it better than us. Funny enough, though.
Did you expect to sort of run over the top? They had a couple, down on the bench at half time, and like you said, you trained in the heat. Did you think there was a chance you could come back?
No, it looked like the opposite. It looks like they were the ones that train in the heat all the time, not us. I mean, and some of it, we're going to have games where energy levels dips, but we can't have our competitive nature drop as well. That was probably the most disappointing part.
Probably got more than half your team there today were sort of first, second year players, or players who played less than probably a full season. So, that's obviously been your philosophy, but a loss like that, in the last few rounds of the season, you've got a few guys that are a bit more experienced out there that you could bring back in. Do you sort of rethink that a little bit or temper it?
I don't know who I've got to bring back in.
There are guys that you omitted from this week's game.
Yeah, Ryan's played 50 games, I suppose. I mean, Maloney hasn't been playing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's been playing for a long time. He's been injured. He actually hasn't been. I mean, I know he's been trying to get back for months. So, I know people think I don't play him, but he actually hasn't been available to play. So, but yeah, Ray's form's been okay, but he's been no better than the guys around him. But that's one player. But, we don't actually have a lot in reserves that are experienced. We have a lot, that played 50 games maybe around that mark, as opposed to guys that have played 10, but it's not guys that have played 150 as opposed to 10. That's where at least that, and it's going to get younger next year. That's just the reality of it, with Brownie departing and you know, issues like that. Great. Thank you.